Welcome back to the Chillin' the Party podcast. I'm your host, Clarkson Reck, and today we're back with another episode of Party Invite with a very special guest today. We have Charlie Wilson, aka Captain Diesel on TikTok. That's where I know him from. We're going to talk about everything. Thanks for coming, man. We're really excited to talk about comic books. That's something I never get to talk about. Super excited about it.
Thanks so much for having me on, man. Again, it's always dope to be on the other side of the table and just talk to more brothers, man. I love seeing more brothers in the space and just put the journey of content creation as a whole is dope to see.
It is definitely a journey. It's a journey, and it's one of those things where you're just like, all right, we're doing this. You're gonna keep on going. You know, it's nice. It's nice to continue on and, like you said, see others that look like you in the same spaces and going on. But yeah.
All right. Well, like I said before, I'm your host, Clarkson Reck. I'm joined by my co-host, Al, aka It's 2 a.m.
Hello, everybody.
And we are here today to talk about a bunch of things, but mainly our guest here is a comic book writer.
Something like that.
Nah, ain't no something like that.
Not something like that. I've read Reaper, okay? I'm hooked,
Yep.
all right? I want to hear all about... Like, I want to talk about a million things, but let's talk about Reaper. Like, for those who don't know, your comic book, you have issue 1 out right now. Issue 2, you have a Kickstarter for. I can talk about it till I'm blue in the face, but I want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, Reaper is the debut of, again, my journey as a comic book writer. It's something that I have been passionate about since a kid. I think most of us, if you're nerdy, have read comic books to some extent, so I told myself on the bucket list, I would create my own at some point and write it and kind of get into that bag. Reaper is now out and available, and then we've started production on the second issue now. So I'm actively spinning my hard-earned bread to get that produced. Yeah, that's going as of now.
So with Reaper, because I discovered it from TikTok, you had a really good video where you were pretty much talking about like your inspirations when it comes to your story and how you created it and how you incorporate gods into the universe and things like that. And after reading issue 1, I have so many questions. But for those who haven't read Reaper, what is like your elevator pitch? What would you tell somebody who's trying to get into Reaper?
So I've recently developed that because I, for a long time, was trying to figure out how do I market this thing? How do I push this thing? I'm an expert on this. I can make the stuff, but getting somebody that isn't aware of what it is to read it is tough. Tonality wise, I kind of tell people that it's kind of a combination stylistically and tonally of the anime Bleach, if you guys are familiar with that, one of the big 3, and the show Supernatural. Again, I'm a big horror fan, so I wanted the story to kind of reflect that, a little bit of the horror aspects, and then, have some fun with the action there and the stylistic way that things are done. It is essentially going to be a story that is going to be tackling a lot of the themes of inherited responsibility. I think a lot of people kind of have that whole idea of if you're in a family, it's a family business, a kid, your grandma you got to take care of. There's usually some kind of thing or trauma passed down to you that you have to take on even if you didn't ask for it. Playing around with that and then getting as we get deeper into the story and the idea of God and what God is and how God acts and how people perceive God and a lot of those different things.
Gee.
Yeah, because I don't want to get into spoilers for book 1, but
Man.
like reading it, it almost made me. I kind of like thought of like 2 things almost, because the art style and like the combat a little bit reminded me of like kind of like the early Moon Knight runs when it comes to like him using his powers and he had like the aura around the fist and everything.
Yep.
So I was like, that's dope. And then anytime people do gods and stories, it always kind of reminds me of like Neil Gaiman and what he did with American Gods and things like that. How he has like the angel over the shoulder, and it's essentially like kind of like lending him this power in a way. I'm hooked already. But
I appreciate
it's definitely on the screen already. You've probably already seen it. There's going to be a kind of stills from book 1. All of the links are going to be below, so you can get book 1 and then the Kickstarter to help fund book 2, because we need more of this. I need more of this.
Yep.
Y'all gonna make me blush. I would stop, chill, relax.
We need more. You know what I'm saying?
It's dope. I feel like as a creative, it's the most, and it's part of the reason why I did it. I feel like I critique a lot of things, a lot of books, a lot of stories, shows, movies, whatever it may be. But getting into the field and putting your own work out there and being vulnerable with how it's perceived is dope. And I love that people are enjoying it, because best believe it's hard for me to even go back and reread the first issue, because I just see all the little flaws and things I could have changed around it to maybe make it better. So I kind of just got to sit with what it is now and just try to do better with the second issue going forward.
Hey, man.
So as a creative, whenever you write things, because we on our side, we do like D&D and we do tabletop games. So we do storytelling in like an interactive way. But being like a comic book writer, I'm curious of how many different iterations of Reaper there were before this. Like, what were the things that were on the cutting room floor where you were like, I really like this idea, but I got to go this way because it makes more sense? Or did you already have the game plan mapped out from the start? You were like, this is the vision. This is what I'm doing.
There really wasn't that many. There was really just the one. I kind of already knew what it was. It was very much so something that I contemplated for a long time in regards to what I wanted to do. And I guess what really like sparked it was the passing of my grandfather. And him passing away, I was really just reflecting on myself a lot and kind of, I was going through like the bits of, that was like my first big major passing in my family, at least for me, that I would kind of had to cope with, and kind of processing those emotions. It kind of led to the story Reaper at that point in time, where once the faucet got turned on, we kind of just kept going. And once I got the first, because I think I finished the first draft in like 4 days, I kind of just sat down and it just came to me. I just kind of knocked it out.
Jeez.
And from there, it went to me and my colleague, Ethan Murphy. He sat down with me and helped me edit and kind of refine the technical things of how to write a comic book. Because for people that aren't aware, how you write a comic versus how you write a regular novel or anything else is very different, with the amount of detail and how direct you have to be with things like paneling and things like that. And I wasn't familiar with that. And he was a vet, so he kind of gave me a game on how to do a lot of that stuff. But the story in itself, it was pre-planned. I kind of already like written little tidbits of Reaper throughout years, as far as like power scale, like power sets and what the rules of the world were. A lot of the macro stuff I kind of figured out. And then once I kind of got started is when I really dove into the details of it. And it didn't take long. It was really just the first draft. And yeah, it was really only 2 drafts of Reaper. It was the first draft. My friend, my colleague gave me some like tips on how to improve certain things. And second draft was the final draft.
That's dope, man. That's extra dope. Like, it's so rare where somebody has like such a vision to where it's like, this is exactly what I want it to be, and then you could finally like nail out the small details like later on. So hats off to you for that, because that's tough, dude.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, because you definitely hear a lot of stories about people, like, especially when it comes to comic books, how many different iterations of the same character they were, and then how like it may have started out as something completely different, and then this is what it landed on. 'Cause I can't remember if it was, I think Spider-Man, and I think like Mr. Fantastic went through like, I think like I read a story about how they went through like 5 different iterations and then eventually just landed on one of them. So for you to just be like, no, this is what it is from the start, that's actually really impressive.
Vision, bro.
Yeah, I mean, some things have probably changed as time goes on. I sat down this past Christmas and finished out the storyboard for the entire major arc, and then like a spinoff, a 5-issue mini series I want to do to kind of go into the next thing. I think in the whole, I want Reaper to maybe be like 60 to 70 issues in total. That may change as time goes on, where I realize, oh, I'm dragging this out, or maybe I can expedite this or whatever, maybe just story-wise. I don't want to overstay my welcome just for the sake of saying it's a long-running series. But for the most part, it is what it is, and I'm kind of just enjoying the ride and enjoying trying to polish my pen and get those 10,000 hours in and just be a better writer.
I feel that. You don't want to be like One Piece and just like 1,600
Oh, stop
it.
Oh, I don't want to. I get into that, man.
We can get into that. Just so you know.
I'm a big anime fan. I've tried with One Piece a lot. I think I've gotten like 400 episodes in.
See?
I understand the love of it. Maybe, again, I haven't gotten to the part where it needs to be. I think people have tried to give me like the guides, but in my mind, I'm like, I want to watch what everybody else watched and what made you fall in love with it. So maybe I just haven't gotten there yet. Because again, every other part of the big 3 I like, Naruto, Bleach, I love. I'm trying to get there with One Piece. I just like got to do like little bits at a time because there's so much other heat dropping too. I'm like, yeah, I'll work my way back around to One Piece at some point.
I feel that. I gave it like, I think 100 and something episodes, and then I left it alone.
had 130 something in there, 135. Yeah.
That's a commitment. That is a full commitment.
It is. It's okay. It's okay though. It is okay. Not everybody has to like everything, and not everything is for everybody. So
no, that means it's trash. What are you talking?
Cut it. Oh my God.
I'm joking.
I gotta watch this to at least give it the fair due of like, if I critique it, I want to make sure that I watched it so I can critique it. I don't want to critique something I never actually watched or read, because at that point I'm kind of just capping.
He's informed. He's informed.
Man.
He's an informed.
There's very few of us left on the internet. I'm glad I found it out that there was.
Because people do that, and I'm just like, why are you talking? If it's not your cup of tea, you didn't want to read it or watch it, cool. But don't make a judgment on something you didn't consume, because now people are going to be influenced by that. Especially if you have a platform, because now people are assuming you're in. People just assume because you have a microphone in your face that you're very informed or whatever it is you're talking about, and you gotta keep that integrity there as far as content goes.
We preach it so often, and it's that, but it's also the other half of the coin where, if you don't like something, having the vocabulary to be able to express to your audience why you don't like it, instead of just saying blanket statements like
trash.
It's trash. It's like, but can you tell me why it's trash? It's mid, but like it's mid because, like, just throw a because on there, and then you don't even have to add too many more words, like maybe like 5. It's mid because I didn't like the main character. Okay. It's mid because the animation style is not for me. Okay, like you get something from it. You like
the true test you'll have, and I love to do this to people that they're nerds, but they're not like they're newer. They're new to all this, right? I'll be like, hey, did you watch such and such? Oh man, it was horrible. I'm like, oh word? What about it was horrible? And they regurgitate something. I'm like, okay, cool. Who'd you get that from? Oh, I watched such and such video on it. I'm like, cool. But did you watch it for yourself? I watched like the first 2 episodes or like the first 30 minutes. So you didn't finish it? Okay,
there's a 3-episode rule when it comes to anime. There's 3 episodes. They're 18-minute episodes, unless we're talking about Sentenced to Be a Hero. That's an hour. That's an hour of heat.
I'm so fucking with it. I'm like,
It's an hour
I'm like,
of
all
heat.
right, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna finish it. I'm loving it so far.
It's so good. It's so good. The animation style kind of throws me off because it has like that Tower of God animation style where it's like that mixture of like computer generated, but they want it to look more hand drawn.
I feel like that's the first. I feel like it won't. I don't think they'll do as much of that going forward, just because of how much it costs. Because I think they're doing the same thing with JJK, to where like they're really putting in a lot of forward effort with these first 2 episodes to kind of get you locked in, and then it's going to kind of teeter back to where it is normally. Which I get. Try to get more newer fans into it, or people hype about whatever you saw, and it looked great. So I'm not too mad at it.
I haven't watched it yet. It's been on my list.
It's a 3D aspect that they've added to it, kind of.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah, but it's not the way that you're thinking. Like the traditional 3D, it's still like that hand drawn, but the depth of what they're doing on screen, and like when you see the fights, you're like, oh, okay, I get this.
It's
like
Mappa. Mappa they still got people.
Oh yeah,
they going ass off.
I trust Mappa. If anybody can make me like 3D, it's Mappa. But there was one 3D anime. I think it was. I don't know if it was on Netflix as an original or if it was just somewhere else, but then Netflix got it. I think it was called Ajin.
It was the devil thing where he's like a devil detective or something of the sort.
Something.
Kind of. They pretty much like. I think they were like devils or something, but they're pretty much people that can like come back to life after they die.
Yep.
Yeah, the demi-humans. So like they'll just get completely wrecked during a fight and then just hit the reset button. I can't say how they hit that reset button, but they hit the reset button and then pop up brand new again. And then they have like a demon that pops out if they're like outside of their body for too long or something. It was a cool premise, and it was like that weird 3D art style.
I may have seen it. I need to go back and see it. Netflix has some heat. They got some really dope anime on there. I don't think I've seen Ajin. I'm looking after this though.
Not a lot of people have. It's kind of like when it comes to 3D anime, I'm just like, that's kind of where, like, they did it really well, but then like you also have like Taugen Anarchy, and I'm just like, I don't like that. I don't like that animation style. Bit. I don't like that one bit with the weird bubble thing.
I completely forgot.
I can't get down with that.
Oh, I had to stop.
I try to be more open with stuff. Again, I'm trying to be a lot more open-minded, because initially that was me with isekai as a whole. Like I was like, I don't know how I feel about isekai anime. And then my homeboy put me on to Overlord.
Ooh.
Man.
And I was binging Overlord, and since then I fell in love with the whole subgenre. I think I did like a whole video essay on why I love the subgenre. Yeah, so I'm trying to be more open about different stuff, just because I never know what I may fall in love with.
I feel that.
That's a good answer. We like that. I like it, at least.
What? No, it's all trash. But anyway.
Oh my God.
Anyways, so how did you make the jump from like comic book enthusiast to comic book writer? Like, what was the in-between in that? Like, how do we get an origin story for this? You know what I'm saying?
So for me, for a long time, I was just a fan, like most people, just consume this stuff, kept it pushing. I wasn't aware that there were whole communities around being a Black nerd or just a nerd in general. I had never been to a convention. I never, like, outside of my direct friends that I had, like growing up with in school, didn't really talk to too many people outside of that were fans of the stuff. Love basketball, like NBA fan. So I was playing 2K one day and ran into one of my best friends now, Otis East. He is one of the co-owners of BLERD, one of the co-creators of the Players Alliance. And at that point, he was running a Facebook group and a page called the Nerds with Melanin. And met him on 2K. We were just chopping about anime, whatever it may be, and found out that in that page, they were doing a lot of interviews, a lot of like this content around in general. And he kind of just like let me get into rooms and see what it looked like from production wise or what they were doing. And after like a year or two of like seeing how they were doing, how it helped them out with some post-production stuff or pre-production stuff, I was like, I can do this. And it led to me, I think, either mid-pandemic or right after the pandemic in like 2021, I decided to just start a podcast with one of my other friends I met through Otis, eventually Ethan Murphy, who is the owner of Echelon Graphic Novels, who I published my book with. Similar situation. We met in the game, chopped it up, and found out we were just really like kindred spirits in how we looked at art and story and things of that nature. And Ethan's good 20-ish plus years older than me, so there's a generational gap there. And we noticed that how we would talk about or discuss certain things. So I was like, hey, come do this podcast with me. I think we'd be a dope dynamic because we're in such a big age gap and we could tackle things from a very unique perspective. And how then our podcast started, which we're still doing to this day, with me, him, and then we added in Otis like not too long after we started the podcast. So in doing the podcast, though, I decided to do it on YouTube. And honestly, another bucket list thing I had, honestly, most of my content stuff is just like bucket list of things that I saw growing up that I wanted to do. YouTube was up there because I was in the YouTube era where I would watch YouTube more than I watch actual television on a day-to-day basis. So I was like, okay, cool. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to create content on it. And it started with the podcast. So I taught myself this is when I was in my second year of college, I think. So I was using the computer lab and taught myself how to video edit, figured out how to do all this production stuff, whatever it may be. And then if you watch the podcast from the beginning to now, you'll see like the progression of how things were and how things are in regards to the content creation journey. After a while, the difficulty of managing 3 different personalities, myself included in that, again, we kept doing the podcast, but I was like, all right, I want to be able to express my perspective in art and how I view these things in a more perspective unique to me and to have control over everything, not just have to collaborate. And that led to me eventually doing my own YouTube channel, Captain Diesel's Dojo. Because initially then and now I started off doing like video essays with that, and I would just publish them under the YouTube channel name. But I'm like, it didn't make sense for me to be doing video essays on a channel with a podcast. So I just took my video essays, brought it over to the new channel, and then started really just grinding out that journey there. And I think within like 4 to 5 months, I hit my 1K subs. I finally got a couple videos that popped off, and just kind of, again, played around with the idea of learning how to do this more. Because I started off with the channel doing mostly pre-scripted video essays where it'd be like 10 5-page scripts that I realized, 10 5 pages on videos ends up being like a 5 to 10 minute video. So I had to just kind of learn how to do that stuff and navigate that field of things and just as a creator in general. And then maybe like a year or 2 after the channel got to where it is now, I was like, all right, cool. I want to pursue comics because I was getting really heavily back into comics with the drop of the Blood Hunt event that Marvel did a year or 2 ago. because it was involving characters I love. Like Blade's in this. Major he's a villain. It seems cool. It's horror.
Yeah.
So I started collecting, getting really back into comics heavily. But I was just like following different writers and artists and learning more about how comics worked. And Ethan having his own comic company, I was like, hey, I want to do this. Give me the game. What's the template for it?
Give me the game.
Echelon is they do a dope thing where obviously they make their own books, but they also have the service where we can help other people create their own books as well. You go to them and say, hey, I either have a script that I want to make, or I have an idea for a script, or whatever it may be. Ethan can help you flesh that out, or he can even write the whole script for you. And he'll connect you with different artists that we have on staff and colorists and letterers that are, they currently work for I think one of the guys that did one of my covers, Eater, he just announced that he's working on the Black Panther annual that's coming out, the 60th annual. Like my way with Adiele is doing, the guy that was writing the Storm Solo run. So the artists that work with Echelon they're up there. We got some good quality people, and we also give some opportunities to some newer people. But part of me being, I guess you can call it me being hard-headed. I was like, I don't want to just use all the assets that Ethan has. I don't want to feel like a Nepo baby where I'm just like having him do everything for me. I want to go find my own artists and people that fit my mold. So he gave me the game of what to look for, and I went out and I think spent in total like 16 hours combing the internet from Instagram to Twitter to wherever to try to find artists that matched the vision I was kind of going for. Because initially I wanted to look at a more of a Todd McFarlane Spawn type of art style, like that gothic look that I thought matched the horror style that I was trying to go for. And I was looking around a lot. But the tough part is most of the artists that do those type of styles that are just really polished, they're usually booked all the time. Marvel and DC keep them an image, and Dark, they keep them going. So finding someone who is free is tough. And also on top of that, finding people with that quality is not cheap. Some people, do the thing where they go overseas to find good quality artists and pay them pennies on the dollar.
Yep.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be really ethical about how I did this and pay people what they were asking for as far as their rates. And I found Julia Galazzi, she's an amazing artist. She's done some stuff for Marvel, Dark Horse, and I think DC. I'm not sure, but I know for sure Dark Horse and Marvel. She wasn't cheap, but goddamn, is she professional and is she quality? Because I loved her art and how it came out. And it was really, honestly, it kind of taught me a little bit as well in interacting with her because she's such a consummate professional. She would like do things like, give me a contract. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know I needed a contract for this, or like how to make a contract. Or she would just give me constant updates and show me the storyboards and all the different things that she would do for a traditional professional client. So she treated me like a professional, which helped me figure out how I need to move and communicate with other artists as time went on there. So she was teaching me as much as she was just doing art for me. So I thank her for that. And then while I'm looking for a colorist, just ended up not finding the right one I was looking for. So that's when I went back to Ethan and said, hey, all right, I found everybody else. My design guy, Brendan Pham, he goes by, I forgot what his Twitter handle is, but he does amazing designs, which I'll probably end up sending you guys the designs for a lot of the characters that he did, because they look slightly different from what Julia's alternative version was when she put him to panel. But he does amazing work as well. He's a fresh face. So I had a combination of like her who'd been a professional for a long time, and then him who was like, he had never even had rates. So I had to like kind of talk with him to figure out what amount of a rate worked for him for designs. I ended up paying him like 70 to $75 for a character design. And he would just, again, he's cooking. He's fired with how his design turned out. But with the Ethan, got the colorist, Carlos, he colors in a way that I have never seen before in comics, to where it's so vibrant and detailed and layered, where like you can see, if you look at the book, you'll see like shadows and different light shining through different aspects in ways that, again, I had never seen before. And it looks dope on page, but even seeing it in a digital format, like on a screen, it looked even crazier because all the colors pop a little bit more as it's a screen versus a page. So I found my team together, we got that together, and so just going through that whole process, the number one thing I had to focus on at that point was the cover art, because I kind of live by this quote that I saw Todd McFarlane have in a video where somebody asked him, they were like, hey, what's more important in comic books, the art or the story? And he essentially broke it down saying that I could take a book that was written by William Shakespeare, but was drawn by my mom. I can't really sell that book to a lot of people up front because the art is not going to catch people's eyes. 100%. But I could take a book that was drawn by Michelangelo, but written by my dog, and I can at least get that initial book sold 1 million times over. So I really was trying to look for styles that I thought worked and people that were really dope at doing cover art. Again, I wanted to find a combination of professionals, knowing I was going to pay professional money, but it's an investment at that point. And I also found some newer people. My guy Bunny Arts on IG, he he does a lot of commissions where he'll take like different anime or just fantasy characters in general. He'll just do commission work for people where people want like Goku and Gojo on a poster. He'll do it, or whatever it may be. He does amazing art in how he does his cover. So he did the A cover for me. And then I was blessed enough, I was shooting a shot in the dark, because initially when I first went into the process of looking for an artist, I wanted Janoy Lindsay to do the art for the book, who is the current artist and cover artist for the Absolute Green Lantern stuff, because I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. I was loving Absolute Green Lantern when I saw it.
I got that on my desk right now.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way he's gonna be able to like even respond to me, for one, because he's stacked. Yeah, and there's no way he was gonna agree to do the cover for me. Even if he agreed, I probably couldn't afford it. I reached out to him and said, hey bro, I would love for you to at least do a cover if you have the time. Because most artists, they'll prefer to do a cover over interiors, just because it's a lot more work, it's a little bit more difficult, and covers you can have a little bit more fun artistically from what I've heard so far. And he was like, yeah bro, I'm down. And the B cover for the book was a cover that he did for me that I'm in love with, and I damn near made the A cover, but there wasn't enough detail. I feel like for the cover of a book, you need to have a little bit of insight into what they're going to get into in regards to characters that may be included or things of that nature. So I just felt like the one that Buddy did kind of just fit better. But I wanted to make sure that I got at least 3 to 4 alternative covers that were different stylistically. So people that preferred a certain type of art style over another, you'd always have something that would catch your eye that you enjoyed there. So those two did those 2 covers. And then I went to Donkey Kim, who dude is insane with what he does.
He's very interested in detail. One, right?
Yes, the one with the fiend on it.
Yeah, that is tough.
That one is tough. I think recently he did a variant cover for the Battle Beast run that was going on. And his art style is amazing, and how he does it is so detailed, and I fell in love with it. And he did one. And then I'm gonna butcher his name, so I don't even try to pronounce it. I think Demetrius or Dimitri. I think it's German or something. It's Euro. I'm gonna butcher his name, but again, reach out to him. He's another consummate professional, and he knocked out a cover for me as well. So I found like different artists for different varying art styles that did all the different covers, and it worked out in the long run, because people would just, I've noticed when people go to buy a book, because we'll get like the reports on which cover they picked out, and I can see like which ones also are favorites. So I can also kind of, for future issues, be like, all right, this is the kind of direction, art style wise I want to kind of lean into. This is what people enjoyed for the story. So it was a good, again, a lot of work went into the foundation for the book, from the logo to the designs to all the stuff, and finding the right team. So now I'm at a point now where it's just a matter of just saving up the bread and writing the story, and I can just keep going now. I don't have to spend as much time as I did with the first issue to get it done. Because again, I think it took me like 7 months-ish to do the first book. And this one, I think I wrote the script for the second issue like in 2 days over Christmas break. Like I just knocked it out. Because again, once the faucet flows for me, I think I have a little bit of OCD in how that works, from what my friends and some friends that are professionals told me. Because once I hyper fixate on something, I can't stop until I finish it. So I start the story, and then it's during the break, I'm not working, not in grad school at the moment. So I'm just like, all day I can just write, besides being with my family. So I knocked out that issue, and then because Julia already has a knowledge of what the first issue book was, I didn't have to explain too much to her about like what I needed for the second one, because she already has that knowledge. So like now everybody's kind of comfortable with the story and with the designs and what I would be asking for in my language if I communicate. So now it's just, we're going now. So yeah, that's kind of where we are now as far as the journey. I know I kind of was a really long-winded answer, but that's kind of everything.
No, you good.
But no, because I'm still hung up on the same person that did the Absolute Green Lantern did a That is so sick, because that's the new Absolute Green Lantern run is absolutely incredible, but the cover art for it is just some of my favorite. I think I'm gonna have it pulled up on the screen, but I think it's the one that I bought for issue number 1 was the variant B. I think it was the one where he has like the scythe on the cover.
Yeah, that's him.
Yes. Yep. I thought that looked so familiar to, I think it's like it looks a little bit like Absolute number 1, because this might not be it because I have the holographic cover, but like with the energy flowing and everything around it, I was like, that style looks so familiar. I love everything about it. I was like, that's so dope. But
I would have had him do more detail, but he a real one, because he legit gave me like a little bit of a discount. Because again, most of these guys, because they're professional, work with like these big companies, they have their rates already set up. And if you want to be a consummate professional, you can't dip below your rates usually. And I was like, look, dog, I'm paying everything out of pocket. He was like, all right, cool. I can give you like a standard cover with my style, but I can't do as much background stuff that I would do for like a DC book because they pay me top dollar for it. And that's how they eat. Usually artists try to stay booked year round because that's their job. That's how they pay the bills. So they got to make sure they stay booked up on work, and they have to keep their rate so that they can pay the bills and handle what they got to handle. So he was, I'm just blessed that he gave me the even a little bit of a discount that he gave me so I could get that book and get that cover because I'm in love with the cover.
So we talked about Echelon Publishing, and pretty much we talked about how you got started and how you said that you took a little bit longer of a path around because you said you wanted to figure it out yourself. You didn't want to feel, in your words, like the Nepo baby, the one who's like handed everything. But if you were to kind of like Marty McFly, like Back to the Future, go back and talk to yourself like, hey, before we get into this, let's skip these steps and let's go about this a better way. Maybe not for you, but like for anybody that's listening, how would you get started if you were to start all over today?
So I recommend Echelon. Let me also be 100% transparent too, because I don't want it to sound like I'm, or make it seem like I'm being deceptive. As of a couple of days ago, Ethan and Otis sat down and had a genuine dialogue and conversation. We are now co-owners of Echelon. So I guess now I'm officially a co-owner of Echelon Graphic Novels now. So I can throw it out there. So when I plug it, just know I'm plugging my own stuff technically.
That's
what I would do.
Go ahead.
I wanted to giving this advice, I want to make sure I'm giving it from a very much so unbiased perspective, because I'm somebody to come work with us. But if I were to go back, I think for me personally, at least for me individually, I'm so obsessed with learning how everything works detail-wise, especially because I want to, at some point, it'd be dope for me to write for a DC book or a Marvel book, whatever it may be. So I wanted to learn a lot more about what it took to do those little things. So I probably would have still gone my route because I'm just hard-headed like that. But for someone who is just interested in getting their dream to come true as far as getting a book out there, or maybe doesn't want to do all the difficult stuff, or hell, honestly, I'm in a blessed spot where I threw a little bit more money away than I probably needed to, and I was able to bounce back from that. Most people aren't. With Echelon, there's a little bit more of a budgeting thing there. You can pay in increments for a lot of different stuff, and the process is a lot more. Ethan has pretty much like laid everything out to where it's easy for people who aren't familiar with this and who are on a limited budget to get this thing done. Again, it's not going to be like dirt cheap because again, we're still making the point to pay our artists their rates and what they ask for, because we're not making up the prices that come from us. It's not prices that we're making up. It's prices that our artists are charging. So we pretty much just like connect the dots of like, hey, you're looking for such and such from your story. We think this artist or these artists could be good for you. These are the price ranges of what they charge. You can go whichever one that you feel like represents your story best and what your price range is. And we go from there to make sure that the artists are receiving the money that they need and what they're owed as far as what their work is. And then also making sure that the people that are trying to get their book made has good quality artists, but also isn't getting charged a whole house mortgage to get your book done. So I would recommend most people to go through that route to get your story told, because it's a lot more streamlined than what my process was, because it's set in stone and we already had most people go through that storyline, or that's not what, but that process.
I think that just hearing that alone, I think that's going to make a lot of people's ears perk up when it comes to everything that's going on today with like generative AI and like everybody's trying to find the shortest way between 2 points. But then when you do that, the ethics are the first thing that get thrown out of the window.
Yeah, you're stealing shit.
Yeah, hearing the way that you guys talk, hearing the way that you specifically are talking about, like, we pay our artists our rates, that's why it costs a certain amount, but what you're paying for is that human aspect. You're paying for that tutelage throughout the process. You're paying for that person to help you. I think, like, I write D&D stories. I've never thought about making a comic book, but just hearing this conversation,
that
I'm like,
inspired,
maybe
bro.
I could do that.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, 100% inspired. Like,
that is absolutely awesome.
Funny enough, we just had a meeting this past Friday with a new client that saw and heard about Echelon through a video I did on my YouTube channel. He was like, yeah, I'm subscribed to you. And I wanted to come check it out. And now he's in production for his own book right now. We had like 2 meetings kind of going through everything, and he's already in the process. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, man, it's dope. I'm blessed in that I'm able to be a part of it. But for people that are dreamers and that want to be storytellers, and this at least needs a bare minimum proof of concept, because we've had people that are. We have one guy he's a screenwriter for movies. Like, he does movies traditionally, And he's using his book that he's making with us to be like proof of concept for when he pitches his movie to a studio of like, hey, this is what this may look like, tonally wise, and different things like that. So people kind of get creative with that.
That's sick.
And how they go about making those.
Man, that's crazy though. Like, it's so dope that you found the best group of people for you to like convey your message. And I think that absolutely says a lot about like your story as a whole. If you found something that's like, yep, this is exactly the vision I had for it, and then the people that you brought to you or as you search for, they're like, oh yes, I see it, I got my version of this. Melding that together and having the backing, and like you said, you've invested, this is your investment, this is your baby, you know. So it's dope to hear that like success story. Like, honestly, it's dope.
I'll give this bit of game away. Well, not even game, just news for the second issue.
Where's my goddamn notes?
So after, again, I went through like a little bit of a mini, I don't want to say promote tour, because I barely, again, didn't know how to really promote the book at all. It's kind of went through posting about it. One of the guys, I think his name's Gin, I'm going to butcher his name again because I think it's Italian, Gennaro Bernacita. Again, you'll see it whenever I post about the cover. He's a member of Todd McFarlane's production team. So he like does a lot of the covers for his Spawn stuff and a lot of stuff on Todd McFarlane's team. And he saw it, and I saw he liked it, and I saw a check mark. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I was like, you know what? He liked it. Let me see if I can take the chance again and just ask him, hey, would you be up for doing a cover? He was like, yeah, I would love to. I told him about the story. Man. He was down for it. And so the egg cover for issue 2 is a cover that he did. It's like the most perfect cover that I could have ever wanted for my book, because it's literally somebody from Spawn's team, from a Spawn book that was the inspiration for the art style, is now doing the cover for the book. So it's just, things started to kind of come full circle. So he did a cover, and I also took a chance. My guys over at Midnight Comics, they're a company based out in Atlanta here, that they do amazing work as well. I wanted to be really intentional about getting more Black artists on my on working for the book, whatever it may be. For the most part, most of my artists and people that are on the team are, Black and brown people. I think Julie is the only one who isn't Black or brown as far as my interior artist, but I wanted to get more Black artists a part of this and kind of give more people that opportunity if they were dope. There's a new guy that I got sent to that he's doing a cover that is going to be a variant cover, and I think I may be the exclusive cover I use for the Kickstarter. For people that add to the Kickstarter, I'm also going to have an exclusive cover that only those people got. Nice. And he looked like he may be cooking, man. So I'm excited. I'm gonna have a post, and when all the covers are done, because all the covers have been paid for, they're finishing up production. I think I only have the one done now. And I think I have Bunny Arch doing another cover, so there's gonna be 3 this time around, and then 1 will be the exclusive. I'm gonna make a post, kind of just letting people know these are what the covers are gonna look like, and these are who did the covers again. And I'm excited. I'm excited because I have some dope people doing these next set of covers.
Man. Okay. So my next question. Is just, I'm telling you right now, this is just a bridge to be able to talk about comic books. But it's more than just comic books, because we're going to talk inspiration. Because it comes from everywhere. So what were your big inspirations? Was it anime? Was it video games? Was it other comic books? When it comes to writing this story, but when it also comes to like your creative process, like what are like your home bases?
Everything under the sun, nerd-wise, story-wise. I love everything from gaming to anime to comics to mythology, all that different stuff. Fantasy. I'm a big horror movie fan. And if you watch my channel, I do reviews on a lot of different stuff. I'm a huge horror advocate for the genre and for the process. So it was a little bit of everything. I think first and foremost, it was the biggest inspiration, like I mentioned before, were stylistically the Bleach and the Supernatural. I wanted to have that kind of tone and style in there that I thought fit. Something that could be horror-centric, but also be palatable for people that aren't big horror fans. I wanted to have a little bit of gore in there, but not so much that like people that are queasy or aren't fans of horror get turned off by just seeing it. So kind of finding that blend there. Story-wise, again, stuff like I'm from Georgia, from the South. So I grew up a Southern Baptist. So the idea of Christianity and God was something always big to me. And then as I grew up more and started to learn more about the different books that were hidden, like the Book of Eli, or seeing what like actual angel depictions are in the Bible, when he describe what an actual angel looks like,
very
it's
different.
Terrifying.
It's very different.
You guys seen Nope?
Cherubim.
The Nope monster in that is very much so similar to what like an actual angel would look like.
It's like a floating energy orb with different things like
7 wings and
6 wheels, 7 wings, 8 eyes.
Yeah.
Bro, what?
Lovecraftian as hell.
Yeah.
just seeing those things and how, and then seeing another show I love that was also kind of a little bit of an inspiration was the Lucifer show that's now on Netflix, I think.
Yes.
And that whole idea of the devil on earth and like really humanizing him and angels and God, and like, because if you look at every major mythology around the world or even religion, most of their gods are humanized to an extent. They have human qualities about them. Rather, if you're looking at the Greek mythology, it's the whole idea of like some gods being jealous and facetious. People like Zeus he has to fuck everything that moves.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Yeah, some act out of jealousy, whatever it may be. When you look into Egyptian mythology, like again, every mythology and religion around the world also has very similar qualities in regards to like a prophet, overarching god, the son of the god, a demigod, different things like that. There are very similar stories all around the world. So it was really important to me. I really wanted to play around and see the idea of, okay, what are these celestial bodies that have been around for so long? Again, I guess you kind of look at like the Eternals as another example of like these things that have been around for so long. How do they interact? Because they have these godly powers, and then people that come from that. Because the whole concept of what a Reaper is in my story is they're Nephilim. And for people that aren't aware what Nephilim are essentially part humans, part angels. So in the Bible, when you look at like Goliath from the Bible, he's essentially a Nephilim. He's a giant. They have abilities that are godly because they're tangentially, a part of that. So the whole idea is that the Reapers on Earth have angel-like abilities. They're essentially like demi-humans, or at least partially angel for lack of a better term. So I'm playing around with all that stuff with my religion and how I was born. It kind of just it's all this big melting pot of different things I've consumed and thought about growing up in my life.
That's dope, because I didn't get that from issue 1, because I thought it was more of a kind of like a "Can't you lend me your power" type situation. Because he was in Old Boy's ear.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of it will be explained in the second issue. The first issue I couldn't, because if it was up to me initially, I would have dropped a lot of lore in the first one. But I very much so understand in your first issue to catch attention, you got to get right to it. So I gave like enough of a lore or enough of an idea to kind of get people interested in it. And the second issue is going to be a lot more lore intensive. It's going to be a lot more thicker. It's going to play around with a lot of conversations, and I had a lot of fun with dialogue. I think dialogue was one thing that I really spent a lot of time researching and how I wanted to write it. Again, I'm a huge, at least Tarantino fan in his works and how he writes dialogue. And I think I watched Fight Club not too long ago too. That was a big inspiration for a lot of the different like ways I write dialogue.
Nice.
Yeah, like write like you speak, because that's how all of it, like the Tarantino dialogue is literally a conversation, and it sounds like a conversation with run-on sentences and interruptions in between. It's so natural and so effortless that you kind of like forget that they're acting for a little bit.
And that's again, that's how I wanted to kind of pattern some of my dialogue writing after, just something that a conversation that you would genuinely have with somebody, but also it's going to have a little bit of like sensationalism in there, because we're dealing with some supernatural stuff here. Yeah. So the second issue will get into it a lot more, but I guess to give a little bit exclusive, I guess, into some of the lore here. Essentially, again, Reapers are Nephilim they're derivatives from the angels that were cast out of heaven. Because obviously, Lucifer united a bunch of different angels to kind of take over heaven at that point, and so in losing, he as well as a bunch of other angels were cast out of heaven into hell on earth. And you have angels that maybe lingered around and had children with them, the humans there, and whatever it may be. So there is going to be this race of people that are Reapers essentially. There's some more lore to it, some more background stuff that involves Lucifer and some of the shit that he did to be involved in that, but I don't want to give away too much quite yet. But that's the genuine thing. So the Reapers in themselves are charged with the responsibility of and again, I guess another inspiration, again, I'm pulling all these shows and movies that I watched growing up that are inspirations. The Ghost Whisperer with Jennifer Love Hewitt was a show that I was also inspired by. The concept of a human being ushering a soul to the other side through either conversation, or if we got to go gangster with it to go to supernatural style, we can force you to go to the other side. So Reaper's going to have that responsibility and that ability. So what you see happen in the first issue is essentially James, the main character, his ability as a Reaper to manipulate spirits. They can either manipulate spirits that exist out there in the world and use them as weapons or empower themselves, or they can play around with their own spirits even though they're not as strong. It's kind of tougher to manipulate your own spirit because you kind of need it to live.
Man said, either way, you going to help me. I'm going to make this shot, but
Okay. It could be by choice, or it could be by the spirit's own, ability to want to help you out. It kind of depends.
God,
Nice.
because that's 100%. Like, because I'm referencing the TikTok video that I personally discovered you from when you were describing issue 1, and because one of my favorite books is Good Omens by Neil Gaiman, which is pretty much like it's kind of like a retelling of like kind of like the apocalypse on like a biblical scale, you know, like heaven and hell can finally go to war because the Antichrist is born, but then the snake that tricked Eve into eating the apple is actually he's actually walking around Earth, and he's like, I like it here. Let's try to go about not doing this. And that's one of my favorite books. And I love that interaction between flawed God and flawed human, and then kind of like that interaction between something that's so like outer worldly, but then so much like us, but just a big ass kid with just way more powers than sense. And I love those interactions, even the ones that aren't like that, where it's like the other side of the coin, where you get your characters where it's like, I understand everything, so almost everything that you care about is meaningless because you are an ant inside of a terrarium, and the rest of the universe does not give a shit. So like,
No.
I love those type of stories.
I appreciate it, man. I'm excited. I guess the more like a little bit of a heads up I'll give them some of the story. Throughout the entire story, there are going to be this group. Initially, I was going to call them the Akhtaru Jihad, which was it was initially spawned from like the Hellboy movies, which the Akhtaru Jihad was like the 7 Dragons of Chaos in the Hellboy universe.
Yeah.
I thought that the name was a H.P. Lovecraft thing, which, if you know H.P. Lovecraft stories and things that he puts out, they're public domain now. So if you wanted to throw any of his things like the Cthulhu in your story, you could do so without having to worry about getting sued.
I could do
I
that.
thought the Akhtaru Jihad was something that he made up.
Where the notes at?
Yeah. So yeah, most of this stuff is public domain. I was not aware that the Hellboy creator, that was something that he created himself based off of H.P. Lovecraft stuff. So I had to change the names. I'm like, damn, I can't let this book get big and then get sued later on, or have to split money with the creator. So they're now called the Unbound, which are going to be this group of, we'll say, demons, for lack of a better term, people that Lucifer has recruited over the years of his existence, that are essentially going to be some of the worst people to ever exist. So kind of like an Akatsuki group. So a little familiarity there for people that have watched Naruto, but not as clandestine. It's going to kind of just be, again, these crazy ass demons that you'll see throughout it. And you get to see and meet. You already met one. We met one in the first issue. That's the hooded figure. I still gotta find him off. I gotta find a name for. The hooded figure is one member of them, and then we're getting introduced to a second member of them in the second issue.
Yo,
like within like the first couple pages.
I have to say, within the first couple panels, seeing the mom give that look, it was a very specific look, man. I'm just like, oh man, I felt it. I'm just like, ooh.
I was like, damn, we're just showing that everybody's expendable in issue 1. Everybody can get out of here. I love it, though. I love consequence. I love consequence.
That invincible approach where it's like, oh, this is just a typical story that I'm used to seeing all the time. And it's like, no, stakes matter here.
It was not. It was not.
Oh,
it definitely, that was good, man. That was... It's subtle things like that, though, that like I love that they were able to convey for you, because I feel like everybody's had that moment where, you know, you talk with somebody and all of a sudden they give you this look like, or like, what's going on with this? Like, man, yeah, definitely conveyed.
Yeah, that's something I'm curious to ask about, because it's something I put it in there. And it was more so a thing for me, but I was curious if people would notice, especially like music fans. There, you see initially James' dad turn on music, like there's a record player he puts on when he's talking to the mom initially. And then the last panel that we see him alive on, where he's in that fight, you see text behind it that are lyrics to a song. And it was supposed to be, again, it's a transition from the music he started playing there that his family plays all the time to what James is listening to in his dorm room. I didn't know if anybody noticed like what song that was, or if they heard it before.
I gotta go back and look at that one.
Look, see now that we got
I'm a pretty big
lore.
music head. I'm a pretty big music
I
head.
tried to put little details like that in there. The song, again, is more so a little bit of a tribute to my grandfather. It's a song that he played all the time when I'd be around him. It's called Tell It Like It Is by Aaron Neville. It's an Aaron Neville song. And he would play it all the time. And it's just one of my favorite memories is like riding around the truck with him and him playing that song and kind of us getting time together like that. So it was supposed to, again, also symbolize a little bit of like how close James actually is with his family, because I think some people will kind of get the idea that he's not with how he operates in the first couple issues, but you'll see through subtle things like that, like he takes his family with him with things like music or whatever it may be, and kind of showcasing that like bond there. And it's something, if you caught the music, you probably get it, but if not, I can understand how. I was trying to figure out how the hell do I convey music or this lyrics in this, and that's something Julia thought about on her total own, like putting the words on screen and making that transition. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Because it's funny you say that, because we talked a little bit about it when we were setting up this interview, where we were talking about flawed main characters.
Mm-hmm.
And how it is so important to have a flawed main character, because that way you can show growth, because nobody should just pop out perfect moral compass. Like, it's really hard to do, and it's more realistic for somebody to be selfish and to be envious and to have like when I first read, because I read through it twice. I read through it before I talked to you, and then I read through it again after I talked to you, and I actually got two different things from it. And I don't want to get too spoilery, but when I first read it, I was like, oh, he's just like a kid. Like, he hasn't really fully mentally grown yet
he wants to live his
understanding
life.
His current like situation and the amount of responsibility that goes with that. But then the second time I read through it, I was just like, oh, this is like hitting snooze on an alarm. Like, do you know how many times he probably gets approached about this and it's nothing? So I was like, that was something where I was like, I really vibe with that.
Yeah. No, see, I looked at it, and the music in the background directly transitioning to him laying in the bed. And I was like, oh, okay. So that is a song I like that. That's a nice little, what you call it, Easter egg in there.
Yeah, if you know, you know. It is one of those things. I wanted to add that in there.
That's dope, man. That is so dope.
So the other side of the house, when it comes to the things that you create, because it's comic book writer, but it's also content creator. What was one of your favorite interviews that you've done on your side? Because you do interviews, you do your video essays, you do your breakdowns of movies and comic books and things like that. But you've also had some fucking guests on your show, man. You've had some names. So, like, you can take this moment to flex a little bit.
Don't be humble. We need to flex. Go ahead and flex.
So, I don't know if it was my favorite one, but one that was really a big one. It was my first big interview we ever had, and it was for Then and Now, funny enough. I don't even think it's on my main channel. We interviewed Graham Nolan, who was the creator of the character Bane, like from the comic books. He created the original concept for him.
Holy shit.
So we talked to him, and it was funny because I literally just got to, like, it was confirmation bias for me, because for people that may not know me, if you know some of the lore for the channel, I absolutely hate the Tom Hardy Bane with a burning passion. Can't stand it. Fucking despise it. Just because it goes against everything I feel like who the character was and what made me a fan of the character. This self-made guy who went to this Mexico. Well, first off, the Mexican guy. Let's start there. He's supposed to be
there. We go.
Guy.
A luchador.
100%.
A luchador. Wearing a luchador mask.
Come on,
they
man.
stripped that part completely out.
Come on.
So I'm never too mad about race swapping a character as long as their ethnic background doesn't tie into who they are as a journey. So the fact you just like took away the whole luchador thing, the Mexican president, now you just put them in this pit. I'm like, it didn't match who that character is. It didn't feel like Bane. And then the mask was just kind of wild on top of that. And then first and foremost, like, Bane is a self-made individual. Yes, he worked for the League of Shadows at a certain point in time, but he's also like one of those people who's going to figure out how to get the best for him. So the fact you kind of just made him a Ponzi to Talia, and the only reason he's a Ponzi to her is because he's in love with her. I'm like, that's not Bane. That's not who that feels like.
That
so
doesn't
when I
make
got
sense
to
at
ask
all.
the creator, I'm like, hey, do you hit that shit too? He's like, yeah, bro, that is not my character. He talked about that. He also talked about like the version we got, the Batman Return. Not Batman. Was it Batman Returns? I think it was Batman Returns. The version with Poison Ivy and Arnold Schwarzenegger freeze. That one that had Bane in that.
Yeah.
So he was like,
yeah, Batman 2000
so far isn't it?
They need a
so that was probably like my first
Bane.
one. That was my first interview where I was like, yeah, I needed that for me. I needed that for my own bias. My favorite interview I've probably done so far is honestly probably been also my most important one is when I interviewed my guy, Ernie BLERD Without Fear. Watched a lot of his content growing up, and for a lot of people that could probably say the same, he got people into a lot of comics a lot at a certain point and brought them back or introduced them to different things about it they didn't know, because he's also very transparent with how things operate, and he's also very much pro representation like I am and how that goes. And I met him through working with BLERD. Shout out to the BLERD team, because he was also like he's like a sponsored creator, I guess, something of the sort. And they're like, hey, we can make this connection. And I chopped it up with him in an interview. And since that interview, he's been such a big mentor and giving me tips on what software he used for certain things, how he approached certain things, how he communicates with certain people. I sent him, like, I think he was the first one, or either the first or second person to read the actual first rough draft of the script for Reaper. And I sent him all the stuff and kind of ask him what he thinks, whatever it may be. And he gave me a lot of guidance in this whole process of stuff, from content creation to that. So it's probably like the most important interview I've had. Because he just gave me the most game from the YouTube side of things and approaching content. Because again, I'm still very much so new to all this stuff and how I need to approach and how I need to build my own thing up. Even with cause Google and YouTube be tripping, because right now I'm technically not getting paid for any of my videos on the channel now, because the AdSense and the way that's working now, that should disable. So at this point, I'm really just making videos off the love of the game now at this point, just because I enjoy the process and doing that. But again, Ernie was there to help me support and give me the game of like how to appeal, where to go, who to talk to, or not who to talk to, because at this point, everything's AI automated when it comes to YouTube and Google and all that shit. Mm-hmm. So again, that's probably like the most important interview I've done. I gotta think back to, I don't even remember too. Oh, you know what? Okay, my favorite one, and this is just unbiased, just as a fan, was interviewing Doug Wagner. Because I don't know if you guys have read any of his stuff. He has like this mini serial killer universe within Image Comics that he's crafted from plush to vinyl to the most recent thing that I love the most was I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer, where he essentially is, he does it great because he does it in 5-issue increments, to where it's 5 issues. He will tell you this mini story arc, introduce his characters, and build this whole universe up. And he just writes in such an efficient and impactful way that I really appreciated. I was a huge fan of his stuff. And then me being a horror fan, everything just fit. I was really a fan of his stuff. And he gave me an interview, and I think he's coming back in a few months because he has this new book, which is going to be in addition to his universe, called Narco, that's going to drop with Image Comics. And he's going to let me talk with him about that whole thing and how that operates. So
that's dope. That's
probably my favorite interview thus far, because he's also been kind of a mini dope mentor, I guess, a little bit, and how that goes. The comic book industry is a pretty small knit, like closed group of people, so like, everybody's usually pretty kind. You got the strays out there, but for the most part, everybody I think comics is just dope people and it's kind. If you shoot them a DM, if they got the time and they're not working on stuff actively with mainstream stuff because it pays the bills, then they'll give you their time.
Yeah, it sounds like I can start shooting shots.
Man,
shoot them shots, man.
The shooters gonna shoot.
DMs, emails, like shoot them.
Yeah, because I'm also a big horror fan when it comes to movies and all types of media. Because one of my favorite comic books of last year, it's kind of like spilled over into this year, Exquisite Corpses has been a fucking treat. Because I was already a fan from Something's Killing the Children, and then I didn't read World Tree, but everybody swears by it, because I read Department of Truth first. Those ones, god damn, that boy know how to tell a mystery, don't he? But it's also just the amount of creativity to take something that's so ridiculous. It's like, hey, we're just going to drop off a bunch of hired contract killers into a town. We're going to cut off this town. It's just going to be a good old-fashioned tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite comic books from last year. But leads me into my question. If you had to do, can you do a top 5?
Ooh.
All time or just last year?
Last year. All time.
Yeah,
that's
all time
a hard
is
one.
tough.
That's a hard one.
Last
I don't think
year, I got most of them on my shelf back here. Obviously, I think first and foremost for me would be the Storm solo run that Mwewa Adeyemi did, which, hell, I did an interview with him. I forgot I did an interview with Mwewa. Storm, again, is one of those characters that you don't see Black characters get solo runs too often, let alone the one who's just tenured in legacy and his like fan adoration as Storm. And he just did an amazing job of writing her. The art was beautiful. The story arc she won was dope. So that was probably like my favorite one of last year. Well, it technically started in 2024, but most of it carried on until last year, I believe.
Yeah.
2 would definitely be I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer, which I mentioned with Doug Wagner. If people want to read that, I'd recommend you go read the 5 issues of Vinyl first, because that's where this character in her solo series gets introduced. And you get to see her for the first time there, and then going directly into that was dope. He did a great job with that. And I think the trade paperback also got released. So if you don't want to buy the individual issues, you can buy like the trade with everything in this one little book there. Obviously, Absolute Wonder Woman was amazing.
Yes. She does not get enough credit, because everybody wants to talk about Absolute Batman and Absolute Superman, and then Absolute Evil came out and everybody jumped over to that one. But people are sleeping on how good that Wonder Woman story is, and how they're tying it into like the Greek pantheon, and it's how she has like those witch abilities now. I'm all about it.
Kelly Thompson, probably to me like the best Wonder Woman writer I've personally ever. I haven't read a million Wonder Woman stories, but again, when you put women in charge of writing Wonder Woman, you just get gold. And she in general has a great way of telling her story, and then the design and the way they tell the story now, the fact that she's a witch essentially from hell. I'm like, it's so the tattoos, the design is dope. Kelly Thompson killed it with that. So that was probably like my favorite one out of the Absolute stuff. I love the Absolute Green Lantern, obviously. I think Al Ewing does a great job, and the fact he chose Sojourner to be the main character instead of going with Hal or Guy or Kyle, or even John to an extent. I think John doesn't get enough love, but he went with somebody that doesn't get enough love at all in Sojourner, and seeing the Black woman at the center of that was dope to see. And especially, again, it's told like a horror movie style in the first, and it's also like a mystery in the first like 7 issues. It's dope.
They make you fear the Green Lantern. Like, they really do. Like, it's actually terrifying, because they have to figure out, like, because they're pretty much trapped in the town, and then everybody's being judged, and they don't fully understand what's going on. It is actually terrifying.
And I think the last 2 would be again, it started in 2024, but a lot of it came out throughout last year. Witchblade by Margaret Bennett, I believe. This is my first introduction into. It's my first introduction into the character, because apparently Witchblade's been around for a while. He had his own anime at one point. I think it had a live action adaptation that was really bad at one point. But it's dope. It kind of, honestly, is very similar in tone to Reaper, which is probably why I like it as much. You're playing around with the idea of like God and this weapon that was crafted from that. It's also very horny, so I'll give y'all that up front. It was part of why I'm glad a woman is writing it, because you have this hypersexualized thing. If it was written by a dude, it'd just be overly horny. But
it'd be a little bit weird.
Yeah, she's doing a great job of like conveying that, and like tying the story and the weapon into the woman experience. And it was dope. It's 16 issues out now, I think. It's dope. Love Witchblade. And the last one would probably be Roots of Madness, which funny, I got like right here, by Stephanie Williams. Stephanie Williams is probably the hardest working woman in comics right now that I can think of, because between this book, Temporal, which she also did with Image, and then she put a post out not too long ago that she really wants to advocate for herself to do a Vixen run with DC, which I think she needs to do.
That'd be so sick.
Because she just tells the Black woman experience in a way that I don't see too many other writers do. And she's just an amazing storyteller as a whole. She's great. So I would love to see that. But Roots of Madness is the story kind of getting into like the root work with a lot of Black women and just the Black woman experience as a whole. Again, I'm big representation. So seeing her be able to get these stories off and how well received they are, she's like that. Stephanie Williams is not. She's not the one to be played with.
100%.
Not the one.
Because I tried to go out and find that one in store, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
It's selling out, bro. I got lucky when I found this one. I found this one like a random shop I went into when I was trying to get my book in their store, and I was like, yeah, I need that. Let me get that up off you, big dog.
That's like my favorite activity, is actually going to try to. Because like I can never make it on like New Comic Book Day. I always have to show up. Like I can never make it that Thursday. I gotta show up on like a Saturday morning, and by that time it's like whatever I can find is pretty much a treat at that point.
So I'll give y'all some game then on that one, because I talk about it on my channel all the time, because there's a lot of narrative around comics being hard to keep up with, expensive.
It's not.
If you go to your local comic book shop and I think every comic book shop, if they're smart, has the concept of a pull list where you go to them, you say, hey, I want to set up an account with you guys. I would like for every A cover of Absolute Batman to be put in the box for me. And everything that comes out, they'll all put it in the box. And then when you come in, you can say, hey, I like these books that were reserved for me. And you can get all those covers. So as soon as they drop in the store, they pull them for you and they put them out there because they know you're a guaranteed buyer for them. Now every shop, as far as how long they hold them, varies. I think mine holds them. I've waited like 2 to 3 weeks sometimes before I went to pick mine up, and I'm blessed that they were able to hold my stuff for me. But
that's how I got
get
this.
a pull list set up. Yeah, you'll never miss a drop.
Because this one was hard as shit to get. That's how I got this.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So that pull list up, you ain't got to worry about it. That pull list, I know my book gonna be there waiting for me.
Because I had to.
Dang, man, he's sick.
I had to call
Hold
them and be
that
like,
for me.
"Hey, it's like, can you put this aside for you?" They were just like, "It's a good thing you called when you did, because you got like the last one."
Mm-hmm. And if you got the pull list, you don't even have to call in. They just know. They got your name on file. They're like, hey, they'll check, their account and be like, all right, such and such wanted to copy this, and they put it all in your box. And you go in, you got it all there.
Okay. Well, for me, my top 5, Absolute Batman.
Okay.
Love what they're
That's
doing with
fire.
Absolute Batman. I don't want to have a list full of absolutes. That's the problem.
Hey man, that's what you enjoy. That's what you enjoy.
That's what
They
you
were
enjoy,
dope.
man.
They were great.
I really
It's like literally they got a
um,
whole new generation of comic book fans into comics again. So I get it. They're good. They're good.
Exquisite Corpses, Absolute Batman, DCKO has been really cool. It's been a really cool read. If you haven't started that one already, it's pretty
I
good.
started it.
He said,
I got the
started
first
it.
issue in here. It's not for me, but I'm yeah.
I like
I'm glad
how
you're enjoying it though. It's good.
I like how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
It's like you can't turn off your brain because you're reading, but it's kind of just the ridiculousness of it. Of like it's Mortal Kombat meets goddamn
Right.
DC universe,
Right.
and I like how they get to pick the versions of themselves, and it's a best out of 3. So like. I like the ridiculousness of it, and I also like how they've also shown a couple variants of these heroes that you normally don't get to see too much. So,
Right.
like
Man.
I will say I don't like the whole subplot with Batman, how he just tried to cheat and then got caught cheating. I'll agree with you, that part was kind of, but like,
It's
We're here
just
for
a
the-
personal
we're here
thing
for
with me. I think it's the personal thing with like how they're writing some of it, and just I feel like it's taking away from other storylines that could like why are we forcing the absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman into the story when they got their own stuff cooking right now? I don't.
it doesn't make sense. That part doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. They don't need him there, especially because like I was more interested in all the stuff that they did with Red Hood, with the Red Hood versus Joker.
Yeah,
Because
Crimson
that
Crowbar
was
finally got a dub, man. He finally got a dub.
finally got his lick back. But well, technically no, because he still lost. Because Joker
Hey.
cheated. He used the defibrillator in his
man.
goddamn chest. But
I call him
Yeah.
the Crimson Crowbar for a reason. That boy Jason Todd is
Crimson
he real good at
Crowbar.
dying.
hey man.
Man.
I can't not mention this one right here.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
been great so
beyond
far.
static.
Because I had to get
Man,
both.
yes.
I had to.
I
had
feel
to
that.
get both of them. That has to be my favorite cover of the year. I
Mhm.
love that one. And then another one, The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
I'm a few issues behind, but again, James Tynion, I'm gonna read it. I think that's 4 there. So I got a little bit of beef with the one I'm gonna put at number 5.
Okay.
The World to Come, the Wakanda, the new Wakanda run that they're doing.
I have not read that yet.
I got beef with it because I don't want to spoil it
He
for
said,
you.
I got beef.
It's worth reading, but the first 2 to 3 issues, they're really playing on shock value because they take a good amount of people out. And then they also like, it's like the entire world is like being plunged into this weird like race war type thing. It's an interesting story, but then it gets good. It's a hard read in the beginning. It's a very hard read in the beginning. It's the audacity of it.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm curious now.
Yeah, they got. You remember that meme that was a while back about? I think it wasn't Ryan Reynolds, but it was like somebody. They were like, "We're gonna have a White Panther," where it was just
Yeah, that was what comic was that? It was one of the ones that not Christopher Judge. I know what you're talking about. I know that was a whole thing. It was interesting.
They tried it.
Well, since I saw, funny enough, Ernie interviewed the writer for that, and people got something completely different than what he was trying to get across. I understand what he was trying to get across.
Well, no, because it was like a found family, like adoption type story.
Yeah,
That's what it was supposed to be. But then, in that same issue, you've established that. Well, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. They established that fucking Storm is dead.
Yeah, she died. Yeah.
Well, they killed off Storm during the weird race war things. T'Challa gets his
Craziness.
ass beat by a new White Panther, and I'm just like, you can't do both. You can't do both at the same time. It's not fair, man.
If you set the stakes, man, it's a good way to set the stakes.
They set the shit out of him.
Yeah, I will say, because I know the writer has different drama here and there. People have different feelings about him. I liked his initial, because he did a Black Panther run for, I think Marvel Knights is the run he did, like way back in the day, in like the 2000s. And I enjoyed his run on that. But no, I read like, I read the issue to see what was going on with that, like that particular issue where they introduced the White Panther.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I see what you tried to do here. I see why people are mad. I think there's another part where like the meme made people think it was something completely different to what it was.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those situations of if people having an opinion on something they didn't read.
Yeah, because when you read it, you understand that like he brought him in, he made him a part of the family, and then the council decided to try to usurp T'Challa, so that's what happened. But like,
Yeah.
it was too much shock value for two issues. Because I actually loaned it to a friend of mine at work, and he was just like, nah, man, I'm done. He's like, no, I don't. He's like, I'm gonna close the book on this universe. I don't want to know what happens next. He was like, the audacity in 2 episodes. Actually, no, I'm gonna swap that out. I really like the new Miles Morales run. The one where
was a vampire, or he finished up the vampire stuff.
Yeah, when he finished out the vampire stuff, and then he actually ends up meeting Anansi. That was sick. That was
cool.
sick.
That
was sick.
The vibranium suit.
So sick,
man. Well, I have olders on my list.
Go ahead.
I really wish with Rebirth they would have done so much more with Cyborg, the new news. Like that would honestly, reading that whole little thing was, I was like, there's so much potential, and they kind of cap you off. You just like, just do the thing, please, because but you know, you can't make them too powerful, and it's like, all right,
that's DC with their black characters, man. They don't do great with all of them.
They made him the president at one point. Like, come on.
Listen, bro, like Cyborg has so much untapped potential, and they give you a little bit, and it's like, oh yeah, like, I mean, if you've read any of the Rebirth, you see him do a certain thing at one point, and it's just like, you can do this, and then it's like, and then it just drop off. You're like,
he's broken.
he is so broken, and they don't give him the clout he should have. But yeah, so definitely the Rebirth series with Cyborg, and the shorter one that I had was Black Lightning and Blue Devil.
Yeah,
it was. I was like, oh, this is not, because again, such contrasting heroes, and it also leads into that whole like religion. Like, oh, this dude is a demon. Like, he's a demon. You're a hero. Now you got to work together. Figure it out. So, those I give those. Those are my 2. Those are my 2. I gotta catch back up, but those are.
I'll give you a rec if you're into characters like that. And this is one character that I feel like got shafted hard in the Marvel Blood Hunt stuff. Brielle Brooks, or Bloodline, Blade's daughter.
Yeah.
I got
the
trade here. I did a whole video on there. My friend put me on to her a while back. And she's really dope because obviously she has the connection to Blade a little bit, and she's a quarter vampire, so her abilities work in a very different way than Blade's. But I enjoyed her trade so much, and then it looked like they were going to like do more with her in Blood Hunt, because they were kind of setting up initially to be like, oh, you're the only one that can beat your dad, and blase, blase, blase. They ended up
There's
having Moon Knight come. They pulled Moon Knight out the ass last minute and just said, put her in the back seat. But I think, again, if you're looking for something new, short, I think it's like 7-8 issues. You can buy the trade, read it all. I love this.
I definitely will have to look into that one. Then also, you know, anytime people come up with new stuff, I'm like, let me just dabble. Let me see what's going on here. So,
Just grab any of the absolutes. Honestly, they're all
Yeah, those two are good jumping on point.
Of course, that's all I've been. Clark, of course, has been like, man, these absolutes, absolute, and I'm just like, dang.
Those books have created an entire new generation of comic book fans because it's easy, jump on point, it's fresh.
Yeah,
it's good for if anybody who just wants to get back into comics and they had a knowledge of DC, I'd recommend those two just for easy following.
They're so good.
Oh man. And then also it was like we go to the cons. On my first con, I picked up a couple of different series from the writers and from there. And
like this one.
Yeah,
I got the poster in the background. Concrete Boys.
That's hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Terril one I got here is Shatter. This one
sick.
is a villain story. Yeah, Shatter's pretty good.
Who's the publisher for it?
We got Sterling. Hold on, let me open this hang up completely. Yeah, TJ Sterling and Newton Lillavoice.
Okay. Look that up.
Yeah, they got some good stuff there. And then also, because we like our characters here.
Yeah.
That's it. I love that art.
I have the other one.
Oh, the deluxe. I got the deluxe edition with Changa too.
No, it was the one with the female protagonist.
Choyoma.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah, listen,
That's
Choyoma
sick.
goes hard too. This is definitely where we should be, and it's like we're finally getting a little bit of something that's like, yes, this is
the indie comic scene is amazing. There's so many dope stories out there.
Yeah, you definitely gotta look into those. So that's where I'm at with mine, and everybody's like, oh yeah, read the what's it called, Absolutes. I'll get there. I'll get there.
Absolute Joker is a terror, dude. That's a bad man. He's even worse. How do you? So they made that was actually wanted to ask you this earlier when you were talking about Bane. How do you feel about the new depiction of Absolute Bane?
Oh, I love him. It's not too different than what the original version was for the most part. Like he grew up in the prison, had to get it out the mud, formed his own militia from the prison, took over the island, and now he runs the island. And then even then, like he was working with the Joker to get his own freedom or whatever it may be. And I don't want to give too many spoilers for it, but the way how the absolute Batman is told to be 6'9", 421 pounds. And you have absolute Bane holding him with one hand like he's a fucking toy. So like, how big is he? So that's again, he's physically imposing. He's dope, and again, there's a lot of allusions to like the origins of Bane, where he broke Batman's back stuff. Yeah, bro, Bane.
Yeah, that's the one where he was running Batman through the ringer. Oh my god!
With Batman had that axe? Was it the axe?
The axe on his chest.
Yeah. Oh man. I know a little bit. I dabble.
It's a great time to be a comic book fan.
It's
also a really good time to be an anime fan too, because we touched on it a little bit earlier.
Oh boy.
What anime are you watching right now?
Okay, so with me, anime wise, obviously I just started JJK, the new season last night, and then finished up My Hero and a lot of the big stuff.
Ooh, my condolences.
That one, they were dragging it out so bad, but it was worth it.
It was worth it.
The last episode. Right now, I'm starting fresh for the most part, because most of the anime I was watching like finished up recently. But I am still watching Gachi Akira. I am still watching I'm trying to finish up no, I think Shield Hero's done. I think Shield Hero's on break. The Rising of Shield Hero.
Yes. They picked it up. The last season picked back up to what it should have been. Before that was.
I'm not caught up.
Anime-wise though, what's coming up? Second season of Freerun. About to binge that.
I knew
when that
we
drops.
were about to say Freerun. I felt it in my soul.
Hell's Paradise is about to be fire. Like this
that
winter
comes
fall
out
season,
today. Hell's Paradise, the first episode's out today.
This season of anime is about this so much gas coming out. I think Fire Force, the next season that drops, I believe as well.
Yeah,
Part 2 of the finale. Part 2 and 3 of the finale.
Yeah, it's some stuff to watch. I haven't started it all yet, but I've been waiting on it for a couple weeks now.
The Return of the King, Black Clover's back. Come on.
Oh man, I'm ready to see where we're going now that we I'm blanking on buddy's name right now. His teacher.
No.
The leader of the Black Bulls.
Captain Yomi.
Captain Yami.
Yeah.
Yami's out of the picture for now. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, Asta about to go train. I haven't read all the manga because I tend to like to be surprised in anime. So unless it's a manga that I know doesn't have an anime on the way anytime soon, then I'll read that all the way through. Like I think I started reading Kingdom and stuff like that. But if it's anime that I know is like currently out, I'm like I made the mistake with Chainsaw Man. I thought it's a good anime. I enjoyed it, but it didn't hit me as hard because I knew what was happening. So I couldn't. But yeah, those are dope. I finished it a while back already, but Sakamoto Days. Dope.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's like my before I go to bed anime. It's good, but it's not something I run to as soon as it comes out. Like I run to a new episode of Gachiakura. Like I don't run to a new episode of Sakamoto Days. Like I let those build up and then I get to them when I get to them.
No, I feel that. That's crazy. There's a lot coming out right now.
Al's the anime guy. Al's the anime guy. Al, how about you tell us what we're supposed to be excited about?
Man, yeah, you already said them. He said them. He had said them. What's it called? A lot of people. Fire Force for me was drawn out a lot before the little break, and now that they're back, it's straight into it, and you're just like, this is not what I was expecting. But they're definitely doing some merging in there, and you're with it. JJK saw the movie, so I was expecting what I was expecting from the first two episodes, and it was just like, okay, I'm waiting. We'll see how it turns out. But with the, like I said, also that new animation style. At first, I wasn't so keen on it, especially like while watching the movie. But then I was able to like pause and read everything and look at it really as I was going along with the new episode. So yeah, there's a lot, and I'm always gonna plug my campfire cooking in another world because sometimes you just.
I
still gotta watch that, and I'm gonna watch Delicious and Dungeon too. I've heard a lot about those two.
Delicious and Dungeon is so good. It just makes you. It makes you feel good. Like it makes you feel good. It puts a smile on your face. It
makes you feel good, and then it takes a little turn. And you just like, oh, this is. Then
it gets real for a second. It gets real for a second.
Real.
And then we just bring it right back.
Yeah, but definitely watch it. You gotta watch some of those to kind of cleanse the palate, if you would. Because it can't be fighting all the time with everything. You gotta have some downtime. And hey, man, they could.
The slice of life anime, man. The feel good ones, they man, they there.
You need them. You gotta have them. Clark don't like them long titles, but it's okay.
I have a thing. I have a thing. Your title shouldn't be a haiku. Your title should not be a haiku. It should not be like 7 stanzas.
I think it's a translation thing, though. I think like from the Japanese to English.
Definitely, though. But I mean, we'll see what's coming out. We'll definitely be talking more. Clearly, comics and anime.
Anime, gaming, movies. I'm again cinephile. I love movies.
You watch Marty Supreme yet?
Marty's, yes.
It's so good. It's so good.
I was so torn. I did a stream Tuesday where I ranked my top 10 movies from last year, and I was like, damn, Sinners is my number 1, but Marty Supreme is like, right, damn.
Man. That's a 1A and 1B situation because they're so different. But like because as soon as I saw it, because I kept seeing a bunch of controversy where people were like, oh yeah, like Marty Supreme is up there with Sinners, and then immediately the entire internet, the whole black side of the internet was like, absolutely not, we will not acknowledge this. Like that's just not happening.
It's because it's this thing with the Oscars where they don't like to give a lot of credit and a lot of reverence to 1, horror movies for 1 off top, and then 2, black-centered movies that aren't based around black pain that aren't directed or written by white people. Like a story that is a black v black story that is promoting black spaces being protected, that is also, it's going to get hold. And I think for the most part, last year, we all understood like, you're not going to hold Sinners because there's no movie that's like that came out the entire year that's on the same tier. But then Marty Supreme dropped and it's like, oh, we got one. But then the movie only been out for like, what, not even a month, because it came out Christmas Day. And people are already giving it awards. I'm like, bro, you didn't even give this movie time to breathe yet. And we're already trying to put it over Sinners and give it awards. Amazing movie. In my opinion, it shouldn't even be a part of this Oscars. It should be in the next Oscars.
I really think it should be. The cutoff should be November, honestly, because that's what they do for everything else. Mm-hmm. Like the Grammys, the Oscars. No, not the Oscars. The Grammys, the Video Game Awards, like I think the BAFTAs and everything. Like the cutoff is like November 1st. So like it doesn't make sense, even though... Again, I will say 1A and 1B, because Marty Supreme, that boy, little Timmy, was acting his fucking ass off, dude. Timothy Chalamet killed it.
He got it, dog. He's about to go on a run. He's about to go on a crazy run.
And then, like, even like Kevin O'Leary and then Tyler the Creator, like the people that like you were like they're just there to be like the token celebrity. No, like they were actually had important roles. They were out there actually delivering lines. Dare I say, Kevin O'Leary was stealing scenes, like fully stealing scenes, like from Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet was in his bag.
Odessa Azon, how she look is one thing, but did not know much about her until I watched it. I'm like, damn, she can act her ass off.
Her, 100%.
I already knew what it was with Gwyneth Paltrow. I already knew she was solid, but I was like, yeah, she's cooking. She's in her bag.
It was something that I wasn't excited for either. I just kept hearing about it, and
I saw them win them. I knew nothing about it except I'm a big NBA fan, so I was seeing that. I'm like, why does this ping pong movie advertising all these NBA ads? What the hell's going on here? Like, Timothy Chalamet, for whatever reason, is like the new, he just snatched Jack Harlow's chain. He's like the new cool white boy in the NBA space. He had courtside at every Knicks game now. He had all like, he had all the ads. What is this? So I went and watched it. I'm like, hey, bro seemed cool. The ads are everywhere for it. Me go give it a look and check it out. Now I do not regret going to see that movie at all.
So good. I think if anything, they advertised it correctly because they set your expectations where they need to be when you go see it. Mm-hmm. Because like if you go into it thinking it's going to be anything other than what it is, you might be disappointed. Because like you think you're going there to get like a ping pong like sports movie, like a Field of Dreams for ping pong, and then you really get like the fall. Like I've never seen a fall off that bad since Goodfellas. Like, it's insane. He just keeps tumbling. And
it is his fault.
And it's his fault. But you keep rooting for him, though. And I don't know why. Like, he's
horrible
an
individual.
Asshole.
Horrible human being.
The worst. And he does it to himself.
Go see it now. I gotta go.
You gotta see it, man. You gotta go.
You have to. The people that are saying that it's up there for, like, best movie of the year with Sinners, they're not wrong. They're not wrong, even though everything in me, everything in me is screaming.
I agree. I just think Sinners was a cultural moment in cinema history.
Absolutely,
where
I agree. That's what I'm saying. 1A is one thing,
but yeah, like man, yeah, bro. It's gonna be one of them things. Like Sinners is gonna be one of those like with Star Wars, where, like you remember where you were when you saw it for the first time, or who you were with, or what you were talking about.
I was working nights at the time, so I had to go see it at 10 in the morning. Me and my wife dropped my daughter off at daycare, then went to go see Sinners at 10 in the morning, and then I just went straight from the movies to work afterwards.
Man.
And that was a great day.
Easy shift. You just chilling.
Mad.
God, it was the only thing I talked about for the whole day.
Sinners was pretty good. Yeah, it was real good. What else we got coming out?
Movies?
Well, there's a couple games coming out. We're getting a Wolverine game this year.
My gosh.
We'll see how that goes. I got to see gameplay.
Oh.
I trust.
Remember the original Wolverine game?
X-Men Origins?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was gas.
Okay.
So I'm excited for it. Insomniac hasn't missed for the Spider-Man stuff, but...
Okay.
I expect an 8. I'll be happy with anything above that. I expect an 8. Insomniac will give you an 8. They will give you a solid 8 and nothing more, nothing less.
All I can say is there's a high bar, because for me, when I was playing that Origins, it was I was able to play my music from what I downloaded to my Xbox through the game, and it was just like I'm playing as Wolverine, listening to 50 Cent.
Got Mini Man on in the background while you
Bro, yes, bro. Like that's a hard memory to top. So
I think Midnight Club did that too. It was one of the radio stations.
yeah, man. See, if you can import your own music, well, I mean, we could do that now anyway.
Well, yeah, you can just use the Spotify app.
But yeah, it was like it still fit. You could hear everything. It meshed perfectly with your gameplay. So I mean, excited for that one. Excited.
Yeah, that I think Phantom Blade Zero is what I'm really excited for as well.
Yeah, I'm worried about Phantom Blade Zero though. Something concerns me.
Was the developer?
No, it's not the developer. So the first gameplay they showed last year was like really the frame rate was all over the place. But then they showed another one and like it was a lot more stable, but it was still a little bit sketchy. The thing about it is that they've moved that date too many times, and that's never a good indicator.
See, I'm confident just because of that. I feel like there's this thing in gaming now where they want to show you a cinematic trailer 5 years before the game is actually coming out. For me, I'd rather you have the confidence in your game to show me a full 5 minutes of the gameplay so I can know what I'm getting into and know that you're confident in your product. And that will, because at bare minimum, I don't expect it to be polished or be finished, because usually as you're dropping these trailers, it's beta. It's not the full thing. And it also gives you a chance to see where the issues lie. You can fix that stuff, like a demo almost. So that's why I was so worried about the Wolverine game, with this you only show me QTEs, you're showing me cinematic scenes. You're not really showing, the only gameplay I've seen from it is the leaked beta gameplay or the alpha.
Yeah, but that was way too early. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know
so I'm
what you're saying.
Have your confidence in shit, because the game is supposed to come out this year and I haven't seen any gameplay yet.
Well,
So I need
that's my
something.
main concern about Fable, because Fable's supposed to come out and then they haven't showed anything. But they're doing a Xbox showcase on the 22nd.
Yep.
So that's supposed to be the one where they're showing Fable. They're supposed to show the next Forza that's going to be in Japan, and then the new game by the people that make Game Freak, the people that make Pokemon,
Oh yeah.
are apparently making some Monster Hunter game
Yep.
for Xbox, which is, it sounds like a Mad Lib. It really does. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
We're gonna see,
We'll
man.
see. We'll see.
It's gonna be a good year though. For constant all around gaming, movies, all that. It's gonna be a great year. Something that's been announced already.
Crazy.
Plus, at the
Crazy,
end of apparently Bethesda's got something, that they've got a surprise for the end of the Fallout season. Apparently there's one of those, I forgot what they call them. It's like AP something. It's the Easter egg hunt that they do for certain things. They have a website and it has a countdown, and apparently the countdown matches up with the end of the new Fallout season. And people are saying that it's either going to be New Vegas or 3 remastered that's supposed to release, which would be cool because I love New Vegas and 3. In that order, New Vegas was better. Hey, argue with yourself.
Please argue with, or in the comments. Argue in the comments. We want that too. Argue in the comments. Argue with yourself. We'll chime
Be
in.
prepared to defend whatever answer you give in those comments.
Ooh, he said
I'm
he
not
wants to smoke.
folding.
He wants to
I'm not
smoke.
folding.
He wants to smoke. Give this man a smoke. That's what he wants.
You get packed up in the comments if you want to.
Woo!
You could. You could.
Pack him up.
Pack him up.
You're hilarious.
Oh man.
Man. What
Well,
the heck?
I want to give you all the runway that you need to talk about all the projects you got coming out. We want to hear about what's going on with the podcast. We want to hear what's going on with issue 2 of the comic book. Anything else that you got going on your own personal channel?
Yeah.
Floor is yours.
Comic wise, obviously, yeah, the production is in process for Reaper issue 2. Storyboards have been finished up. And I think we're gonna start seeing, Julie's probably gonna see the first couple pages come Monday. So that's in production now. The Kickstarter for that is out as well. Need some help because it's not treat to make, boy. I don't know what I'm saying. Again, Julie is great, but I gotta make sure she get the bread that she asks for it, because channel wise, my own channel, content wise, I've been trying to honestly consolidate a little bit, because I feel like I was going kind of crazy just putting out. I put out a shit ton of videos last year, from video essays to reviews. That was kind of just all over the place. So I'm trying to consolidate down a little bit more into, you'll see a lot more reviews, whether it be comics, movies, or shows. and probably a little bit more, I call them rants, I guess, where I'm going to kind of discuss different things that I see. I think the most recent one was the whole issue with Marvel and how they've been doing their black characters and black shows and the issues there.
Yeah.
How many days has it been?
They hoed Falcon so bad.
So that video, I put that video out like 2 days ago.
Well,
think,
Captain
or a day or so ago.
America now. But
Oh, yeah.
what-
Him, Ironheart.
How you can't get a
Wakanda
fucking
series.
how you a superhero can't get a fucking home loan, bro? That shit pissed me.
Bruh.
Fuck. I was
Bruh.
bad as shit.
So yeah, those I'm again doing more content around that because I feel like I have a lot of like sometimes unique perspective on certain stuff. Whether it's that with Black Pain, but content series, I think I'm starting because I talked about it in a video I did about Black Pain where I hadn't seen a lot of the bigger these films that were more so centered around the different Black Pain stuff like Boys in the Hood, Juice, all that stuff. It didn't gravitate towards me. So I'm making it a point I'm gonna start recording now, but each week of February, I try to do something very special for every Black History Month. The last 2 years, it's been me reviewing and kind of going in depth on a Black character that was important to me. First year, I think, was Jon Stewart. I did Spike. I think that's probably my biggest video on my channel thus far. I did a breakdown of Spike from X-Men Evolution.
Absolutely.
This year,
yes.
So sick.
But this year, I'm going to be doing each week, I'm going to be dropping like a reaction of me watching a lot of these Black movies and then with some friends of mine. And then I want to kind of review it in my own way in the second half of the video after the fact. And each one of those will come out each of the weeks of February. So that'd be what I'm doing for that upcoming. And then again, Then and Now podcast, we're going to keep the pod going, man. Just trying to stay more consistent with it. It gets harder and harder as years go on between Echelon and then now Otis and myself being working with the Players Alliance to try to, fight for ethical gaming there and putting things back in the hands of the consumers. There's a lot there. But between all this stuff, we're still going to try to stay consistent with Then and Now and have that going. I think we just finally got our first episode post the holiday break up today at like 5. So that's up. And that's pretty much it for me for content wise now. I got stuff in the cut that I'm trying to prepare for. I think voice acting is a big path I want to go down at some point soon. But it's just a matter of, working on that skill set, polishing the stuff I need for it. But that's probably gonna be more of an expensive venture. I gotta build like a recording studio area somewhere where I'm in the house, which is tough, but
I know a guy that's pretty good with sound design. I can connect him.
Yeah,
because he's given me a few tips. He's given me a few tips. I don't really do a lot of voice acting, but pretty much just trying to get pretty much like I talked to him about getting like my room set up and then like different software and things like that. He's real good, but he does more like tabletop. He does more tabletop stuff though. But like
I need it because I'm trying to work on some more. Again, this eventually I'm going to go down at some point, but it's just going to require me to get this right set up, and then I'm going to do a lot of free gigs to get the portfolio built up and all that before I try to approach the big dogs about voice acting potentially. But that's more of a distant thing for me now. I want to get through the first couple issues of Reaper first before I start trying to take on another massive venture, and then still trying to figure out how I want to approach the channel because there is a possibility that again I may not make any money on the channel at all going forward. So I'm doing everything for the love of the game. So I may not go, I'm still going to get videos out. I'm still going to get a lot more out than I probably should. But instead of me going harder to paint with so much pre-scripted content, I'm going to be doing 2 streams a week. The Captain's Lounge is going to be every Tuesday with me and my homeboy. I was doing it by myself, but I brought on my homeboy Jordan, was one of my best friends. And we're getting into a lot of things around pop culture, nerd stuff in general with my homegirl, Dr. Carrie Knight. We're going to be doing the Polish Therapy show where we're going to be discussing our favorite comics for the week, which you guys read, what we're enjoying. And stuff like that. And you'll see like different interviews throughout the year. Like Doug White is coming back in some point in the next 2 or 3 months whenever his book drops. And then I've been emailing back and forth with Stephanie Williams trying to get her on sometime in April to talk to her about all the stuff she's working on. So content is still coming for the channel, but I may dial back a little bit more. I may dial back a little bit just because, money on it. I need to try to make the money up somewhere because I'm still paying for software and editors. Yeah.
Oh, for
but
sure.
content's still going to come though. It's still going to come.
Sound good. Sound like you guys.
That's a busy man. Hey, well, if you ever want to roll some dice or talk about video games.
Yeah, I'm gonna get y'all on. I'm gonna get y'all onto the channel at some point soon. We'll do a stream. We'll get y'all on the Captain's Lounge.
Well, no, I'm talking about you. You want to roll some dice?
Some dice?
Yeah. We do tabletop games on our other side.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I think I'm gonna start like a Baldur's Gate campaign with some friends of mine. So I'm down. Yeah, we'll get it together.
Oh,
man. Yeah, I like to bring guests in as villains, so you get to bring out some.
Everybody gonna die.
Oh
Everybody
my god! See,
I like
y'all
that
in that
energy.
horror. See, y'all got the horror
Like
thing.
that energy.
I gotta go. Get me out of here.
For us, we have the Halloween special we did, the collaborative special we did between the 3 channels, ourselves, Classic Sam, and Get Wrecked. The Kids on Bike specials that we did, that's going to come out as a 3-part series. That's getting the full suite of sound effects, music, all of it. It should be a full immersive experience, just like all of our other D&D podcasts. I took my time with this one. I know I've brought it up in the last 3 videos, but like I really want this one to be like legit. This is like my personal little horror movie. So we have that coming out soon. We have a couple other party invites lined up. I don't want to talk about them because until they happen, I don't bring them up. Just because things happen. We are starting the next campaign, the City of Mist campaign.
City of Mist.
That should be the first episode of that should be out by February. And then outside of our channel, we're going to be doing an interview with Afrofish coming up soon. We're talking with the Husky Hokage about doing a joint podcast over there with Victory Road. Same thing with Fukunami. That should be January 20th. And then for Black History Month, Classic Sam is taking over Imaginative Media's Twitch channel, and we're going to be doing an interview over there where we're going to be in character as our D&D characters from our campaign, answering questions and pretty much giving some backstory about the characters that we made and pretty much like the motivations behind those. So that should be really fun because there's a lot of lore that I didn't get to like pretty much talk about because it's all nuance when it comes to D&D. It's as much as they can extract, but some of those characters were meant to be way cooler and then they died.
Well,
I'm excited to check out. I'm gonna be tapped in. I'm tapped in now, man.
Yeah,
I'll be watching.
All that, and then we started putting streams on the channel too. I think after this we're gonna go do some Call of Duty private matches.
Yeah.
So that should be fun.
Just dabbling.
Yeah.
Amen.
So all of Captain Diesel's links will be down below, especially the ones for the Kickstart. I'm also going to leave a link to Echelon Publishing because I'm pretty sure if I don't, there's going to be a lot of people in the comments asking for it because
Where is it?
I'm already I need to get my stories in order because it seems like a very
especially the route that you took, like what you talked about.
I'm sold. I'm sold on it.
We gotta talk.
Hey man, hit us up. We always available for work. We're always here. We love bringing people's dreams into reality.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Damn, it got me. All right. But this has been another episode of Party Invite. Make sure you guys follow Captain Diesel. All of his social medias will be below in the video description. Make sure in the comments you guys tag people that you would like to see on the show. If you yourself would like to be on the show, you can always just send a DM. You don't have to wait for me to send one. Okay, we have calendars, we have things, we can plan things.
We got things now.
We have things. We have the technology. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Captain Diesel, for joining. Really do appreciate it.
I'll come back when I gotta get back when the second issue drops. I'll get you guys an early copy of it.
Hey man,
I can't wait for that one.
Look, because I'm ready.
All right.
Where's more?
Well, we're gonna go talk shop for a little bit off camera. But you guys have a good one, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.